Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Coven House. We're your hosts, Marissa and
Christopher. In today's episode, we're diving into one of the most important parts of our craft, and it's consultations
we'll be talking about the do's and don'ts, and we'll be also sharing some stories.
and the breakdowns of what makes a truly great consultation and the experience for both the stylist and the client.
So grab your coffee and sit down, and let's get into it.
So, how do we consult, Marissa? You want to share your consultation process first?
Yeah, so it's changed a lot throughout the years, but I feel like the most important things while doing a consultation would be from the very beginning to the very ending are so important. So, greeting your client with confidence because they can feel the energy if you're not confident or not. One thing I feel like I've learned is that I love to stand in front of a client rather than looking at them from the mirror because it builds some type of connection with them. I always ask them what their lifestyle, like what they do, how they style their hair at home. Are they putting heat on it? Are they what at-home hair care they're using? And I always tell them to bring in at least a couple of pictures because what us as stylists see as like gold will be very different than what a client sees as gold or warm or ashy. And I feel like everybody sees things so differently that you need to ask them what they like about the picture and what they don't like about their hair currently at the moment. Because sometimes they'll show you like 3 different pictures and each picture is completely different from one another. So you really have to like dissect to know what clients want.
Like, for example, like you were just saying, like we can see different tones and
Mhm.
different things than somebody else is looking at. And I feel like that's something that
So,
is really important
yeah.
because they can be looking at something and it's probably ash, but they're looking at one specific thing.
Yeah, like one
So,
strand or something, and for the most part, it's like a completely warm hair color. And then you also have to give your professional opinion. Don't just say that don't overpromise. You have to be realistic about if you can achieve that color or not, if their hair can handle it or not. So, I think that was a hard one for me to learn. In the very beginning, I definitely over I was trying to people please and just trying to give everybody the exact color they wanted, and with time I realized, no. You are the professional. You have to set the realistic expectations, and you can only do, like, what the hair allows it to do. What about you? What's your process that you like to do?
I mean, I agree with all the things that you're saying. There's
Mhm.
nothing, well, something that I always tell all of my clients, and it's not like they all do it, but that's why I allow a 15-minute time period so that way we can sit there and have that conversation, especially if this is actually a reoccurring client, I still have those conversations. But for a new client, I do have them book out at least, and they pay for it, at least 30 minutes in detail conversation about what it is that they want, what they're looking for. I have them bring in 3 photos, and I even ask them to show me one photo that they don't like. More so, for example, 3 photos that they have, it can be, like you said, each photo will look completely different. So I
Mhm.
think when you're having that consultation with someone, you have to like look and try to honestly, the hard part is it's reading the clients
Yeah.
and trying to see what the personality is, getting to know them because it could be all different shades of blondes, but then you have to look, okay, look at they don't even actually know what tone they want. They're wanting the placement.
Mhm.
So then that's when you have to kind of like read them and figure out like, okay, let's talk about tone, recommend what's good for them. And each consultation can be completely different for extensions, length, and all of the things. But my thing is always trying to have 3 photos and one photo that they don't like. And what is it they don't like about it? And like you said, being realistic about what's actually possible and never overselling. And looking out for keywords, I feel like too, like when someone's also saying to during a consultation of someone saying that, oh, no one's ever done my hair right. Okay, why haven't I have to say like those are red flags too to watch out for
Yes.
because
So,
as you know, it can be horrific. If,
somebody that hops around from so many different stylists and is never happy.
that means there's something internally. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's also reading people. Also another thing that I look at for a consultation is when, especially more so for a haircut, I'm like, how much do you want to cut? What is it that you do with your hair? How are they touching it? Like, I think that's something that you have to like honestly like during a consult, like you really have to read people.
Yeah,
You really have to look
it's
at what they're doing.
such an important part of our industry that some people naturally aren't good at it, but I would say you and I are pretty good at, like, reading people. Like, we're pretty observant when it comes to, like,
Yes.
but if not, you definitely have to practice because it's so important.
Well, for example, with you, I
Yeah.
obviously I do your hair.
Yeah.
So something that I always laugh about when I'm looking at you when I'm talking about coloring your hair, something that you do, and I'm like, you're like, well, I want like blonder. And I can tell like you feel you're not touching up here in the front. You're touching like back here. So I'm like, this bitch wants blonde all over. Or sometimes you're like, I want it to be like, look at
Like,
where
I
they're
don't wanna
touching the
be as
color
rooted,
or rooted or
or I wanna
something.
feel lighter, and you're, like, going like this around your
Yeah.
face.
So I think like hand movement, seeing what they're
That's
seeing. So it's like,
true. I've never actually thought about, like, the hand movement, but that's so
that's why I
true.
always look, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Or when they're like, I want like, what are they touching? So that's like, okay,
Yeah.
they don't they want like little sometimes they'll use the word bangs.
And
And
they
then they're
don't want
touching, they don't
bangs.
want bangs, and
Yeah.
that's not what it is. And some
Pictures for bangs and let them know what the process is to grow out bangs.
and also go like study face shapes.
Mhm.
Like you said, we're all pretty visual, but sometimes like that's a mistake you make and get someone you're like, what the fuck did I do?
Mhm.
Um, so I study those face shapes and think about what really works for someone. And like
Hair
you said,
contour is what they're calling it.
it's all the
Yeah.
fucking same shit. They just
Yeah.
always fucking
New
relabeling it
term.
into something else.
Yeah.
But those are the main things I ask. What does he want to do? And also price point. Like be realistic about what it's going to cost. Don't undersell yourself because I feel like during that consultation, tell them too, is this a color correction? So sometimes they feel like when someone comes in with super dark hair, they're wanting to go even like let's say my hair color to your hair color. You know, that's just you and I both know because we're both hairstylists, that's just not going to be possible even in one sitting.
Yeah.
So it's like break it down with them to be realistic about how many sessions it's going to take, the integrity that it's going to, the toll that it's going to have on their hair.
And they appreciate and respect you more if you give them your professional opinion. Most of that's what they wanna hear. They wanna hear your professional opinion, not just what, "Yeah, I'll do your hair." They wanna know if you can do it and what has to go into it.
And if they don't do their hair. I would just say like sometimes people were like they just go to they want to find someone that they can kind of bully
Yeah.
and get them in to do it and then ask for like a refund to do something ridiculous. So I have a story. So
Yeah.
this is a bad, this actually wasn't a bad consultation, which thank God that I did that. But there was this client that reached out and she came in and she gave me a bad vibe. She came in and it was basically a color correction. She had really messed up highlights in the back. It was like blotchy. Her ends were really broken. She's probably like maybe about as light as you are right now, but she wanted to be blonder. I went in through her hair and I was like, look it. In order for me to do this, because she also had like really chunky lowlights, and I was like, your hair doesn't seem like it's gonna be able to take it. You're gonna be paying this much money. I said, and it's gonna look okay. I was like realistic with her about this. I'm like, it's gonna take sessions. It's gonna take me a long time. I said I have to go through it really slowly. And said, luckily I had this weird vibe about her that I brought in our manager, Brittany, for the consultation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I was like, I have this weird vibe about this
What
client.
about
I
it
don't know how to
gave you a
explain it.
weird
I'm a
vibe?
witch. I am a witch.
You
Fuck it.
are a
So
witch.
I had this feeling about her. Have I
Yeah.
told you the story?
No.
Um, and so Brittany, I was like, come over here. I'm like, this woman's gonna get me fucking trouble. And usually I would say no. This is my own fault.
Mhm.
Going through it, did it, and it looked decent. I mean, what can I say as my best work? But it was my best work for what I had to work with.
Mhm.
And she's like, I love it. Oh my God, thank you so much. Says she's gonna book her next session. Sylvie walks in and she's like, did you just do her hair? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh my God. She's like, I swear I've done her hair before. And then she asks for like a refund. So then I was like, what the hell? So then I looked back at her profile thing and she went to her a long time ago. And then she also went to Kyle a long time ago before. So then I asked Kyle, I was like, Kyle, did you ever do? She's like, oh, that client went to me to a long time ago at the other salon I worked at before. And she gave me the kind of these issues and whatever. The person, none of the people that we worked with then
Mhm.
did that to her, what I was fixing.
Mhm.
But it was like, I was like, oh, shoot. So that was like, red flag, that's something. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, she sends pictures of the parts that I told her that I could not fix and saying that I did it. Called and said that trying to ask for a refund. And I said, absolutely not. Thank God I had Brittany there
Mhm.
with me to be the witness. And I got on the phone, you know how I am, I'm aggressive, and I was just like, I was so professional, but I was like, I said, we had that conversation, we had the consultation. You knew those pieces I was not going to touch because your hair could not take it. I said, I'm not going to give you a refund back. I said, but you know what I will do? I said, I'll give you your tip back. I said, but I'm not giving you your refund back. I said, and just to let you know, I said, you are no longer welcome back at the salon.
Yeah. Good.
But I was like, this fucking bitch. So it's like during those consultations, if you have a feeling about something, go with your gut feeling because it's usually right. And make sure that you have a witness or someone there, your manager or salon owner, so that way they can back you up. Something I want to ask. How do you feel about refunds?
I've only had to do a refund once, and I did a partial refund. Um,
Why?
when I go back to it, I don't even know why the fuck I did that. I'm like mad at myself for doing that. I think I was just trying to please because realistically, this girl came in with darker hair. First of all, her hair was super dirty and greasy and dark, and she
Sorry.
wanted to be super blonde. And, and she wanted to be super blonde. And I took her really like everywhere. And then later on, she tried to say that her hair, she came in with hair lighter than what I had left her with. And I, like an idiot, gave her a partial refund. And I was like, I'm never doing her hair again. So other than that, I haven't had any other incidents. So I definitely, that's something I would like to learn about. Like, because I know you'd be like, no, fuck it, I'll never give a refund.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never given a refund, and it's something that I've learned from other mentors of mine. They're like, absolutely not. It was your time, your money, unless you really did screw something up, which I actually thank God
I know, I'm like,
that I've never had anybody ask for a refund.
yeah.
Because I feel like I'm really going back to those consultations of this conversation is it's very structured, 3 photos, making sure you're realistic about it and how much that's going to cost them long term. So like the future. So if it's someone going for my hair wants to even go through yours, making sure we break down what those sessions are going to look like, timeline, and just being completely honest about. And the honest part sometimes is that we necessarily don't know until we start doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. You don't,
And
a lot of times clients will lie about what's in their hair if they've previously colored, which is crazy because we always find out the truth until we get it. You're just doing yourself a disservice by lying if you've had previous color in your hair.
and especially do it with people who you even think that they're just friends. I have an example. This new friend of mine, Rita. She love her to death, and she's so sweet. But she came in and she was like, I have virgin hair, it's all grown out, and she had like great blending. And then like I was doing her hair, and I didn't book out that enough time. Luckily, she was super sweet with waiting in between clients. But then I'm like going through it, and I can see clearly that her ends had color on them, and I was like, you fucking bitch.
I think people also think though that if like 2 years pass, there's no hair,
And that's
there's
what
no
I'm
color
saying.
in their hair.
That's when it goes back to don't like skip your consultations. Like do your test strands and do all of those things that you do. Is like that. I did that to myself. So I had to go back into that and just like, luckily she came back in, everything's great. She has extensions and,
Yeah.
you know,
She's long and blonde now.
she's long and blonde now. But like my whole thing is like, I could have saved myself some trouble and would have done an extra added step or planned it out a little bit differently.
I feel like it's important to add if you've done color in your hair for this amount of years, because some people, most of the time, people are like, no, and then later on, as you're doing their hair, they're like, I did my color like 5 years ago. Color is still in your hair until it's completely grown out and cut off.
By the way,
5 years is like, here, what?
So by the way, make me blonde.
Oh God, no, never do that. So okay, I want to ask you, what are your, like, right off the bat, your biggest red flags that biggest red flags for when you should say no to a client?
You know, it's so funny. I don't know how to explain this. I'm big on energy.
Yeah.
Like if there's giving me some type of like weird energy and I don't feel like we're vibing, even if I feel like the consult went well, if I feel a weird energy with this person, I won't want to do their hair.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna. There's someone particularly right now that I feel like is constantly reaching out to me for me to do their hair, and I'm doing everything I can to avoid it to do it.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Is this
it's
somebody
just-
you already know?
Not necessarily, but I don't want to get into that right now. But like, I just in my head, I'm like, I'm not
Like,
wanting
spill the
to.
tea. What's the name? I'm just
That's
kidding.
for another day. But I just don't want to. So I feel like that's number one thing for me with red flag is my gut. So I feel like trust your gut. If you feel like something's wrong, something's wrong. Because without a doubt, when you're doing these consultations and things are happening, you're most of the time right. Like, think about that time. I don't. It's a gift. That's a gift that I have.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that's a tough one because that's hard. That's something you can't teach people.
So that's another thing. So red flags are when they're blah 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 blah. when you're when they're saying that nobody can get their hair right.
Yes,
That's a big
that's
red
the
flag.
biggest one.
When they are not agreeing with you or wanting to take your advice or your steps, and they're trying to like force you to do something that you're telling them not to do. So it's just say
They're
that.
trying to tell you how to do it.
Trying to tell you how to do it. Just
Yeah.
then do it.
Yeah.
What about yours?
No, I agree with those exactly.
Do you tell them your horror story
Oh God.
with that? And I told you.
I didn't know that. So thankfully, this has been my only horror story. I had a mother and daughter come in. The mother and the daughter was maybe a teenager. They came in, everything was okay. What made it so difficult right off the bat was the mom wanted something completely different than the daughter wanted. And I'm doing the daughter's hair. So trying to figure out how to meet them in the middle was difficult. Lesson learned, the mom's paying, do what the mom wants, always. Who cares what the daughter wants? Do what the mom wants, she's paying. So I was trying to meet them in the middle. The daughter wanted to be pretty blonde. The mom wanted her to be like pretty natural, like brunette, like maybe light blonde. Honestly, I did a fucking good job. I executed, but while we were in the shampoo bowl, the daughter's hair was wet, and the mom came over. She was watching me like a hawk the entire time. I was already having just frustrated with the mom because it was just like bad energy. She was like super intense, very entitled. So I had the daughter in the shampoo bowl, and obviously the hair is wet, so it looks super dark when it's wet. She came over and she started yelling at me. And she's like, "It looks super dark. That's not what my daughter wanted." And in my head, I'm like, "You wanted her hair to be dark." Even though I knew the hair was not going to be dark at all because I knew the second I blow dried it, it was going to be a lot lighter. She was being so rude to me. And I just remember like everybody in the salon being like, "What the fuck?" Like she's like disrespecting you. And at that moment, like something clicked in my head. I was like, "Marissa, calm down. Keep it together. No matter what," I'm like, I'm not gonna let her walk out unhappy. She's gonna love her hair, but she's never fucking allowed back into the salon ever again. She's fired.
Get a professional.
Yeah, and it was hard, but I also feel like sometimes when I'm under a really chaotic like a moment, I know how to like switch into it. It's leading into chaos when when I don't do well, but whatever. So she was on the phone. I started blow drying the hair. The mom was on the phone with family members the entire time until I finished blow drying the hair. And oh wait, no, I forgot to say, because the mom was telling me that the daughter's hair was dark, the daughter then started crying in the chair because she was already freaking out from what the mom was saying. So it was just like a hot mess and chaos. So the second I started blow drying the hair, I was like, just wait, let me blow dry the hair so you can actually see the color. The color is going to be completely different than when it's wet. It always looks a lot darker. And then sure enough, they fucking loved it. They were so happy. The mom was asking for my phone number to book again. And the mom was on the phone with family members saying she absolutely loved it. And this is the best her daughter's hair has ever looked. So in my head, I'm like, that's good. That's rewarding. But also like this bitch is never allowed back here ever again. Yeah. I was like, now your daughter's gonna have shitty hair because you treated me like shit. So yeah, that was my crazy. Oh yeah, but you said she came into the salon and she was already rude to the front desk, right?
She just came into the salon, and I told Brittany, I said, "Tell her not to do the fucking hair." I'm like, these people have like this weird energy. I'm like, that mom seems psycho.
Yeah,
And I was just like, and then
didn't
when you
know that
came down,
until
I was
into
like,
the
oh my
process.
God, which I have to say you handled that way better than I, because I would have been a complete fucking bitch and been like, can you please just step away from me? Like,
Yeah.
so I give you props for that because that was a lot. I remember you coming down and I wanted to go up there and fight her for you.
I remember everybody wanted to fight her.
I was super
But
upset.
I
I
love
was
that. Like people had my back like that, but I was like, oh, that was the worst. But other than that, whatever. Tell me yours. And then we also have some other stories to hear.
Kyle's that story with
Okay. What about the stories that we have from other hairstylists that have sent their...
Okay, let's see. Let me pull this
Honestly,
up.
considering that's my only story, I'm super grateful. I love all my clients.
I don't really have any. This all in all consultation is just like, my thing is feel like if you see something's wrong, something's wrong.
And obviously over time you're able to learn
Oh, wait, sorry.
about no. Obviously, oh, we'll go.
No,
Obviously over time you're able to learn like if this client's going to be a good fit for you or not. I feel like in the beginning sometimes that could be hard to know if they are or they're not because you're going to try to just do everybody's hair in the beginning right off the bat.
yes. One of my first experiences, this is something that I learned during a consultation for a haircut.
Mhm.
Um, I just first started out, I don't even think I was a year in. I was working at this salon called Gallagher's in Downey.
Gallagher's.
And I don't even know what that guy did to get me this client, but they came in and it was also a girl and her daughter. And I was doing the mom's hair and she was like, showed me a haircut. And it was very similarly simple. She had really long hair. She's like, I want to keep the length, but I want lots of layers and lots of movement. And so, of course, what I do, I go in and cutting her hair and, you're lifting it. As we know, the length is cut, but then you go into it and you lift and you can cut a lot of layers. Her hair was like all one length. So she can see me in the mirror cutting off like about like this much off. But it's the layering. So this bitch, I mean, I understood now where she was coming from, but she was like, what are you doing? And like yelling at me. And I'm in the salon just like, what? Or like, what's going on? I'm like, I said, your length is done. I didn't cut your length. This is your layering, trying to explain to her. And she just, when I say it, she's just fucking going off on me. And I'm just in there, I'm like, look, at this point, I've already cut your hair. I said, and I need to finish it. I said, if you don't like it, then you don't have to pay for it.
Mhm.
And so
You were like twitching right now. I could tell you're mad. You were just talking about it.
The thing about, I remember literally being so mad and like just sitting there and she's just like, okay, finish it.
Yeah.
She just had this like bitchiness about her, just thinking about making me so mad. And sure enough, I finish it, blow it out, and it looks fucking gorgeous. She apologized and she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, it looks so good. I could tell she felt like embarrassed, but it wasn't even, and the thing that made me more mad though, was that it didn't even seem like a sincere apology. It was more so like, okay, I'll pay for it. Thank you. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, I ended up leaving that salon and I ended up doing other things. And those fuckers gave her my phone number. She was looking for me. And then she was like, no one's ever given me that haircut before. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. She's like, where are you going? I want to find you. I just ghosted her.
I was like,
no, bitch. I'm like, the anxiety that you gave me. I said, but also like now in my young age still, I learned that like whenever I'm cutting someone's hair, doing a consult, like if it's someone who has really long hair and they're holding on to that, it's like, hey, look, it's gonna look like I'm cutting off a lot because we have to
remove the
weight from the top. So, but your length will still be there. So that's something that I think is really important to share during cutting someone's hair, because length, it can be, people have trauma stories.
People have so many trauma stories about length. I always go, the second I feel that energy from somebody when they're like so like tied to their length and they're like freaking out, I'm always like, you know what? I'll always go less than more, and then you let me know if you want me to go shorter.
Yeah, I always remember my sister, this story specifically, she's gonna hate me for sharing this. I think it was like my senior year in high school and she was a sophomore, and she had long hair and my mom took her to go get mom and daughter story again. It's always the mom and daughters.
That duo.
And to go to trim. I'm like watching TV in the living room and I can hear my sister and my mom's like, I'm sorry. But my sister's screaming like bloody murder, crying. And she walks in and I wanted to laugh so hard. My sister has like a fucking, like, it's up to like her shoulders.
What did it start with?
It started to her was like right here. And so I'm like, what happened? My sister's like, I told her to trim. My mom said, just cut the dead ends off. So the lady cut off like all of the hair. So of course my mom feels terrible, which my mom was like, so of course, what did my mom do? I had to go find someone for them to like first cut her hair evenly because it wasn't even a good haircut. And then
how old was your sister?
She was like 15, 16. And sure enough, if you look at all that pictures during that time, my mom had to pay all this money for her to get extensions. So my sister had for like, I think a good like year or two, like extensions so her hair would fill out. So that way, I'm like, good. But see, I mean, things can go wrong really fast.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, I want to share some stories. Do you want to read one? I read one. Or you want me to read them both?
Read them both.
Okay. Should have some water.
Want me to get you water?
So no, it's okay. This is from Mel. Where is Melissa Christine Hair.xo on Instagram. I worked with her. I love her to death and she's crazy. So this is her story. It says, the day I wanted to disappear from doing hair altogether. She's like, let me set the scene. It all began when a potential client reached out via IG, Instagram, asking for a consultation. Of course, I messaged her back and we came to an agreement to do a FaceTime consultation since my schedule was extremely tight at the time and we couldn't match our schedules due to her work. So she calls me, we have a 15-minute conversation, and we come up with a game plan. For the record, she basically wanted a stacked full foil with a minimal dimension throughout and just a small amount of dimension through her roots. Anyways, we book a date and I'm thinking, great, I got a new client, yay. Days later, she texts me with some uncertainty, asking to meet in person before the actual appointment so I could see her hair in person and be absolutely sure about our game plan. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little frustrated because I didn't really have time to just have an extra conversation in between clients, especially since we already had a phone consultation. But I agreed and I booked her anyways, figuring it would be quick since we already spoke over FaceTime. Day of a life and day of the in-person consultation, she comes in and everything seems normal. She's nice and asking the same questions as before, so I got into even more detail about the game plan we'd originally discussed. But the more detail I gave her, the more questions she had, and the look of uncertainty on her face wasn't going away. I kept reassuring her that she was in good hands and that what she was asking for, a full stack highlight, was something I did almost every single day. I was confident I can execute the look she wanted. The consultation took 45 minutes. 45 minutes I wasn't prepared for, especially
Jeez.
especially after already having a phone consultation. I would have fired this bitch already.
Yeah, I'm like, red
Um,
flags.
my other client sat patiently watching the whole interaction, confused as to why this girl seemed so uncertain. I just brushed it off and chalked it up to it's her nerves. She was trying someone new and it's not cheap, so I get it. Fast forward to the day of the appointment. I woke up the day not feeling well, and I knew I had this new extremely picky client with doubts about me being on my books. That already put me in a bad mood, but I pushed forward, got myself a big ass iced coffee to prep myself up, and headed to the salon. On the way there, something interesting happened. A random number texted me, and I didn't know who it was from. Come to find out, someone had accidentally given my number out on a dating app. The guy sent a photo, and he was actually attractive, so we started texting. I immediately thought, I immediately thought, how cute is this? I could be meeting my future husband through a wrong number.
Oh my God, I can't wait to have her on the podcast.
This is going to be a great story to tell my client and lighten the mood for the day. During our conversation, he asked what I was doing, and I told him I was on my way to work, but didn't feel like going because I wasn't feeling great, and that I had this new, very annoying, picky client on my schedule. Eventually, I show up to the salon, greet my client, and start another consultation just to make sure everything we talked about before we went on with the plan. Before I went to mix her bleach, I told her about my random text interaction from this morning. And instead of just telling her, I showed her my phone and the text messages. As I'm standing there grinning ear to ear, she suddenly looks up to me and says, you think I'm annoying?
Why would she do that?
It's Mel. Um, the way my heart fell into my butt, I swear my face went blank. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say or do, and all I could think of was to run away and enter the witness protection program. I obviously
Oh
had
my
to say
God.
something, so I tried to play it off like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just having a bad day. Like, what was even that response? Then I quickly switched gears. I'm going to go mix your color and ran to the back to have a full blown panic attack. I remember the girls texting me. I worked with this girl. I remember everyone texting me about this. I told all my coworkers, and none of them had a clue what to say or do because what do you even say to a client who just caught you talking shit about them? And then on top of that, I had to sit through the entire appointment with this person who definitely hated me now. So I did what anyone would do. I walked out humbly, looked her in the eyes, and profusely apologized for what I said. I told her it was inappropriate, unprofessional, and completely wrong of me. I just wanted to make it right. To my surprise, she was actually really appreciative that I opened up to her. She said she understood and even admitted that she could sometimes be a little difficult. I offered her some free product at the end of her service and apologized again. The rest of the appointment wasn't as awkward as I expected. It was definitely weird, but manageable. Her hair turned out really nice, and she even made a kind IG post about my work. She eventually moved away, and there was no bad blood, thank God. But I definitely learned my lesson and became a better status for it. Just remember, you never lose in life. Everything is simply a lesson or a blessing. Oh, and as for the random text guy, nothing ever happened. He just ended up being super weird with a ton of sex kinks, so he got blocked.
Oh my god.
Fucking Mel. Only Mel could
She's
pull that off.
so funny.
Um,
She handled it well though, the ending.
she did, but I wasn't there for this, but the amount of people that were texting me like from the salon that day and Ashley were like, who the fuck forgot about that story? But I was just like, you fucking stupid bitch.
Oh my gosh.
We have one more story. Okay. This is from Christine. It says, this was in 2010, maybe. A friend referred this girl to me. She comes in, seems sweet, but maybe is socially awkward, which is totally fine. I can relate. She has pretty heavy long hair, wanting a fresh cut. When she proceeds to show me her inspo pics, it was an anime character and she was super serious. Like Sailor Moon or something. She says she liked how the layers flipped, but stayed together. I was trying to be open-minded and said it was a styling technique, but hairs will eventually separate. Proceeded to tell her maybe a bunch of mousse blow-dried in will do, but also said this was a cartoon, not human hair, which got her really mad. Fuck. I did my best, but she never came back.
Oh my god.
I mentioned to my friend when we hung out, and my friend was even like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you she was super weird. She was not sure if that's horror enough, but that's one that I'll never forget.
Yeah, and talk about AI photos. That's a cartoon picture. How
That
the heck
is-
do you
people are-
can't replicate that?
People are crazy. I did have one done something similar to this, but it was actually Robert's client, which I thought was super cute. This little girl, she was maybe about 5 years old, and she brought in her little like stick figure doll,
Yeah.
and it was a girl, and it was like a little like bob that
That's
was like
super
flipped down. She's like,
cute.
"This is what I want," but she
Aw.
was super happy with it. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about a story from somebody. I remember a stylist that had done one of his clients, who apparently he's been doing that client for a while, and she was like a well-known reality show, and I think he had slightly raised his price. I don't know if he raised his price or not, but basically she called the credit card company and she tried
I do
to
remember
say
this.
that it was fraud, which is so crazy because I think he had been doing her hair for a while. It's so crazy how like shady people can be. And to top, yeah,
Wasn't it the sister, or was it actually the client?
I think I don't know. It might have.
Well, was his
Obviously,
client or
we're
the
playing
referral?
telephone, so we don't know. But I'm pretty sure it was the client. And what's crazy is I think that client then like came back. We're probably gonna have to bleep that one out.
I do want to share this one. This has to do with consultation, and you're gonna laugh. This is I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know if he wants this out. The bang story. So okay,
That instantly gives me anxiety.
so we had this client, not one of our clients, is one of the owner's clients, come in, and she sometimes goes to me or goes to another stylist depending if Robert has time or not. And she came in with no appointment, and she is an artist, and she you know Soror Hotel? She is an artist, and so she was doing a music video, and she bought a bang piece, but she didn't want to actually cut her bangs. So he wasn't available. I remember they asked me, I wasn't available, and then this other stylist that we work with, which does amazing work, by the way.
Yeah,
Does amazing work. He was like, I have time. Yeah, like he's like, I can do it in between my clients. So he puts the bang piece on, doing her thing, and
Do we know if he put the bang piece on her, or she already had it on?
No, he put the bang piece on her and did the whole thing, and he cuts it, and she's like, I love it. She leaves, and then all of a sudden she sends a picture to the owner. So when she left, she decided to take off the bang piece, and the next thing you know,
She had the anime
her
bangs.
actual bangs were cut up to like super high, and it was super short. Luckily, she had a great sense of humor,
And
but
she's so
and
sweet.
she was super sweet about it. And she's like, "This was my fault. I shouldn't have rushed it. I was in there." So another thing, make sure when you're cutting someone's bangs that, especially if they're theirs or not, that it's good and cleared because that could be a horror story. Luckily, she had a really good attitude about it.
Yeah. She was still very positive. And hair
Um,
grows. Okay, so let's end this on a positive note. No more horror stories. What's something you take from all of this? From all
learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, don't do it yourself.
I would say, yeah, what I take from it is even these things that do happen, which I think that what Mel said in
Mhm.
her thing was that she has no regrets. Everything's a learning experience.
Mhm.
All we're doing here is hoping that you learn from it so you don't make those same mistakes. And if there is something to take away from this, is just always trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you feeling something is wrong, like I said before, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You should just go with it.
And
But
if
yeah,
something happens, things go wrong, it's okay. It's important how you react to the situation and how you handle it.
as long as you grow from it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes I feel like you have to go through things in order to learn. But yeah, if you can learn from other people, do that.
And find a great mentor or someone that you actually respect and you want to learn from and watch how they
Yeah.
consult and go through things. And because no matter if it's extensions, haircutting, men, women, each consultation needs something different.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode.
And thank you. We are the Coven House.